start. Let's start. And please cross your fingers and toes. Can you do that for me? Because I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, let's see. And please cross your fingers. And yeah, well, if it's working, the sound is not great, but it's what we can do. Okay, doke. Let's start today. We have to finish chapter 7. Yeah, it's a long chapter, and we're going to finish with two things: 6/4 chords in cadences, and the freer treatment of the 7th degree. And that will be the end of chapter 7, and we're going to yes, I'm going to start next week the next chapter, which is modulations. Fascinating topic. Yeah. So, and in modulations, after we have seen all modulations, yes, but not all modulations, but the beginning of modulations, yes, then we're going to return, let's say, with practical exercises. Yes, that we have. I mean, I didn't forget. Yeah, I haven't forgotten. But you needed to learn all these cadences, yes, of modulations, and then apply it. Yeah. Fantastic. So let's start. On Schonberg, the 6/4 chord in a cadence. So now the cadence that we already know, I mean, or at least which are the cadences that we know so far. Let me see, as a little revision. Which are the cadences that we know, that we have seen so far? Yes, Georgios, come on.
The perfect, the half, and the deceptive.
The what, sorry?
The perfect, the authentic, the half, and the deceptive.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Did we see the half? I guess we see the half. Did we see the half?
Yes.
I guess we did. Okay.
And he mentions the plagal cadence but he actually says this is more related to the church modes. Functionally, the plagal cadence is not as strong, or is not as important, as strong actually, yeah, strong, let's say that, as the perfect authentic cadence, half cadence, or deceptive cadence, yeah, in the form, related to the form, yeah, it does exist, yeah, but it says in harmony, the cadences that contributes to the form are three: perfect authentic cadence, half cadence, and deceptive cadence. And today we're going to see the 6/4 chord in the cadence. Yeah, I mean we have already seen the 6/4 chord, and it has certain characteristics that in the cadence contributes, let's say, yeah, to the progression of the cadence. Remember, every cadence, I mean, the more chords contribute to the cadence, yes, to that moment, to the cadential moment, yeah, the more important it will be, yeah. Let's say if you just do 5/1, yeah, dominant tonic, yeah, well, your cadence will be very almost abrupt, yeah. So the more you contribute, the more chords are involved, the more time you spend, yes, on a cadence, well, the more important the cadence will be. And one of the things that we can do is to put a 6/4 chord, yeah. So the cadences can be expanded still more by inserting a tonic before the dominant. That is after the subdominant or the supertonic. The prototype for this might have been the cadence 1-5-1, which we designate in page 131 as the first Silvestre cadence that we have we saw it. So 4, 1, 5, 1, yeah, but this is also explained another way, namely 4, 5, 1. So in this case, in this 4, 1, 5, 1, we transform, let's say, yes, this 1 to be, we call it an appoggiatura, let's say, to the 5. How? Well, let's see. When the subdominant is to move to the dominant, like in this case, the C, the soprano, remains suspended ornamentally, yes, and the F goes likewise ornamentally in the tenor, over here, through E to D. E to D. So the A in the alto here, on the other hand, gets directly to its place by going to the G of the next chord. So A is not suspended in any way, and it straightforward goes to G. Yeah, by the way, doubling of the bass note, and especially when this bass note, yes, is momentarily 1, 6, 4. So the tonic 6, 4. So every chord in 6, 4 also has to double the bass. That's why it goes directly, yeah, to the G. It's doubling this bass note. The E is the passing tone. The E, this E, yes. In this case, A, the form in which the C delays is its step to B, becoming a dissonance, which must be resolved, is called the suspension. The C, a fifth, yes, a consonant towards the bass, then is prolonged, is transformed to the fourth, and then resolves to the B. Now, please tell me, don't you think that this can be related to something else that we saw? Yes, yes.
The fourth species. The fourth type of the... No, fourth species, no?
No, fourth species, yes. Of counterpoint.
Yes.
So actually this comes from counterpoint. Remember, counterpoint came first. Yes, by the addition of more voices, yeah, harmony came to exist. Yes, but this is exactly 3 by 4, let's say. Yes, the 3 by 4 suspension. Yeah, only bass and soprano. That's why we pay so much attention in counterpoint of 2 voices, because after that, in order to be fair, yes, counterpoint, when you add just more voices, is harmony. Yeah, so suspension, yes, more of that later, he says confidently. This interpretation has much in its favor. It seems to me probable, however, that although either of the 2 interpretations could alone produce the 6/4 chord, it was the union of the 2 ideas that led to this cadential form. The idea of, this passing F, E, D, yes, and the proper suspension, yeah, 3 by 4. That is what is, saying. Now, a little bit forward, yes, here we say the suspension evokes suspense. Yes, this is kind of the definition of the 6/4 chord. Yes, in the cadence of the tonic, specifically in the tonic. The suspension evokes suspense, hence the word, which is relieved by the resolution. The resolution follows on the desired chord, whose appearance after such meticulous preparation acquires the illusion of necessity. I really like this definition. whose appearance after such meticulous preparation acquires the illusion of necessity, consequently arouses an enhanced feeling of satisfaction. Because the illusion of necessity, we made it, the composer. You do it. You create the illusion of the necessity to the resolution. That arouses an enhanced feeling of satisfaction in the resolution. And that's a very nice definition of, yes, the 6/4 chord and suspension, and I would dare say any kind of suspension. Yeah. Now, he says, well, we cannot just define the 6/4 chord, yes, in a cadence, by this first definition, yes, because there are other ways to express a 6/4 chord in a cadence, and not just the way that he just stated, yes, which is, in order to be fair, the typical, yes, the by the book, yeah, the scholarly way. For example, let's go to the example A. You see the voices. You have the tonic, the 4, the 1/6/4, going to the dominant, tonic again. Yeah. Now, the F goes to the E is the passing tone, yes, goes to the D, resolves, G stays in the same voice, good. The C is not tied, but it doesn't have to be, yes. So, another thing to remember, yes, the C doesn't have to be tied, yeah, like in the suspension of counterpoint, can be repeated, but yes, has to resolve. Now, this is the most typical common. Now, let's go to the B one, yeah. You still have the same chord in the same position. Now, which chord is this one, I ask, first of all? I know. Georgios.
Tonic in 6/5.
Yes, it's a tonic degree, first inversion, but with a 7th passing, yes, why not, towards the 4th degree. In first inversion, with a doubling of its bass note. But this is not all. No. Look at the C, and this is your jaw is going to drop, Georgios. The C doesn't go to the B. No. First of all, the G is not doubled. The C is doubled, and the C, this C, that is, I mean, it has a leap, then resolves to the B. Yes, so the suspension, let's say, yes, is taken by skip and then resolves, and then this C that it was skipped as a pedal goes in ascending motion to the B.
Isn't sorry?
No, because we're not there yet. Wait, the surprises are like endless here. F goes to the E, but then it does go to the D with another voice, but the proper voice, the alto, goes to the G. So the actual voice, the alto, that's supposed to go to the D, doesn't go to the D, it goes to the G, but there's another voice that replaces that, which is the tenor, that goes to the D. I mean, the sound of the passing F E D happens, but not in the voice it's supposed to happen. Yes, Georgios, tell me.
Is it could we consider an ascending suspension, like retardation, I think it's called.
Well, retardation,
Would be the
yeah,
symptom.
the retardation, the definition of retardation is that it behaves as a suspension. So you have a preparation, it has a suspension itself, right, a dissonance, but it resolves stepwise ascending.
Semitone.
Semitone tone, but ascending.
So isn't that?
So you have the tenor, yes. So, I mean, the G with a C, right? This is not a retardation. This is a proper retardation, which is a tenor. Yes, excellent, curious. Good observation. Yeah?
And I guess the other one is an appoggiatura.
And this is the appoggiatura, exactly. So you see that you have more melodic reasons, let's say. Yeah? Now this has been a lovely conversation between Georgios and me, but Laura and Iris, are you getting anything of this? Because this is kind of new. So, now, the C, the retardation, yes, the retardation behaves as a suspension, yes, the C basically, but instead of going down to the B, which would be a suspension, goes up, resolves up to a consonant. That's a retardation. That is what is happening. Now, the thing is, the B has to sound. I mean, the C was supposed to go to B, didn't go, right? That's it. But we need a B. And we need, I mean, the whole point of this 6/4 chord is to have a kind of an unstable chord that resolves, yes, into the dominant. And we need that fourth. So that fourth, the whole point of the fourth is that resolves to the B is not happening. That's why you have to double the C. But we cannot put a C randomly out of nowhere, yes, because it's a dissonance. So it has to be treated somehow, yeah? And that's why it's treated like an appoggiatura. And what is an appoggiatura? I don't know if Laura knows, that's why. Iris, do you know it? I know Georgios knows, but no, don't worry. Georgios, enlighten us.
Oh, I think.
I don't know if I can make a definition. I know what is this?
Okay, well, try.
I could say, yes, I mean, in my mind. So it's a note.
It is everything's on your mind there. It's everything's outside your mind, and you're thinking it's dangerous.
Fantastic.
Go on.
So it's so for example, so we have one note, right? We want to go to another one. So this is not the real note. The other one is the real note. So this is like anticipation of that note. An appoggiatura. Yeah. So I don't really know.
Wait, when you say real note, what do you mean?
What, sorry?
When you say real note, let's clarify that.
So for example, of the chord, of the harmony.
Yeah.
So for example there, right? We want to go to the B, but
yes.
The C is the appoggiatura. So that's not the real note. The real note is the B. You want to go to the B, but you put the C first as an anticipate, not to anticipate, but
look, do you know the origin? Because anticipation, no, because we're mixing things.
Yeah,
but we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. The name appoggiatura, which in English doesn't have anything at all with, and you can relate to nothing. I mean, relate to nothing. Yes. But appoggiatura is an Italian word.
Yes.
And in Spanish you can relate to it.
Yeah, apoyar.
Okay, so what does it mean? Appoggiare. Apoyar.
Yeah, like
What does it
it's
mean?
a notice thing. It's like the first step, like to stand on somewhere
Yeah, to lean over.
to somewhere else,
Yeah,
which
you
is
lean,
you really want to
exactly.
go.
You lean over. Exactly. It's a dissonance. It's a note. Yes. That is leaning over momentarily. Yeah, and then, like you said, and then goes to the. When I say real note, I would say structural note,
Okay.
harmonic note, chord note, not belonging to the chord, but maybe structural note. Yeah.
Okay.
Because in this case, the C is, in this case, the C is a note that belongs to the chord. It does belong. The only thing is that it's creating a dissonance. And when I say dissonance, I'm saying an unstable interval. Unstable, a fourth. Okay? So yes, very good. Yes. So you want to go to the, you want to go to the structural note, or the resolution note, yes, the target note, yeah. But you lean over a dissonance and then pop, yes. Then you resolve. Now, how do you do that? It is how do you approach that note, that appoggiatura? By skip, by leap, by descending motion, by ascending motion, by step? How?
I think by leap.
By leap. By leap or skip, ascending or descending?
Ascending.
Ascending.
You can resolve.
Always. Yes. You always. This is also Laura. Yes. So, very good. Very good. So, appoggiatura. That really weird name, okay, has an explanation, because in Italian comes from appoggiare, which is to lean over. Yes, momentarily you're leaning over a note and then you resolve it. Yeah? Always approach by leap or skip, ascending. In this case, you have the A ascends by skip, and always resolves stepwise down, descending. Usually semitones, usually. In this case, always semitone, in this case. Yeah? And by the way, it's always clashing, yes, it produces a dissonance. An appoggiatura, the definition of appoggiatura is a note that is a non-harmonic note. It doesn't belong to the chord. In this case, it does belong, but it's producing a clash, yes, an unstable interval, G and C, a fourth, that needs to be resolved, yes, down, in this case, to a third. So you have two types of dissonances against the bass. The retardation in this case, and we call, yes, retardation or suspension, because not resolving down, is resolving up, and the appoggiatura resolving to the same note. Yeah? More or less? Yes? Yeah? Good. And then the resolution to the tonic. Yeah? Now in this case, you can use 2, 6, 5. You see that 2, 6, 5. We have in example D. We have this C, 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 almost like a pedal. Yes, you have the tonic. Then you have the 6. Then you have the second is 6, 5, which is the 7th. Yes, that is nicely and neatly held and then resolves. Yeah, A. So in this case, what is going on with the E? The E doesn't come from the F. Cannot be. Yes, so the E is actually not a passing. Yes, doesn't have to be a passing all the time when you have a second degree. What else? Oh yes. When it comes from the second degree, yes, in example a C, if you see that the C, the fourth, resolves, yes, into the third of the chord of the dominant, that's fantastic. And then the E, again, it cannot be a passing. What is passing is the A goes to the G, goes to the F. So there is a movement of the voices, yes, that's the only thing, yes, that this is a voice leading, yeah, that can happen, and it's not mandatory. But when you use a second, usually that's what actually happens, yes, especially when you go to the dominant seventh, not the dominant. And with dominant seventh, usually the fifth of the chord of the second degree goes to the, let's say, the fifth of the 164, usually because you're doubling, and then nicely to the F, which is the seventh, yeah, of the dominant, and then the resolution into the, to the note that you're supposed to go, which is the third of the chord. So usually you have this almost Phrygian pum 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 pum. Yes, tell me.
What happened to the leading note of that chord?
The leading note to that chord, yes, very good. Well, which type of cadence? Well, the B is there, but what is the problem? Doesn't resolve. Yes. There you go. And you go to the G. Yes. Now, could you go to the G, to the C, or not?
I mean, if you don't want to have, if you don't mind not having a fifth in your chord.
Exactly. So basically, you could go or not. If you go to the C, yes, imagine a C there, yeah. There you go. Ping. Good observation, Glorious. Yes. You have perfectly well, you have similar motion, yeah. In this case, if the G is here, you have contrary. And then you have B with D, yes, B ascending, D descending, so taken by contrary motion, that's fantastic. So everything goes all right, yeah. So you could do it or not. In this example, you don't, yeah. The tonic is here, but you decide not to go. So it's a freer treatment, yeah. I would go, but if you want a full chord, a complete chord, well, clearly you have to do this, generally, this is a, well, which type of cadence do we have here? Let's review. Perfect cadence, perfect cadence, perfect cadence. Yes, yes. You're very talkative, because in contraposition from Laura and Iris. Georgios, tell me, come on.
Perfect authentic cadence.
You have perfect authentic cadence. This one?
Yes.
Why?
Because we go to the tonic, and also go to the tonic with the soprano singing the do, with the tonic.
And if you want a perfect authentic cadence, don't you need the leading tone on the soprano?
Depends on whom. Kaplan would say no. Kaplan says you need the tonic on the soprano in the last chord. So,
and that is true. It depends on the book. In general terms, they claim that the perfect authentic cadence, both chords, that's a rule that it has to be there. Yes, and it has acoustic reason, which is they have to be in root position. Yes, and you don't need a dominant seventh. There's some treatises that they say yes, you need a dominant seventh. There are others that they say no. Generally speaking, the soprano, the clearest way, the clearest, yes, expression, yes, of resolution is when the soprano is in the, yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, the lead leader is in soprano, yeah. Ok id ok. Now, that's why you have, again, yes, you have several ways to end a cadence. In this case, for example, the E, yes. Example D, we saw it, bum, 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 bum. Yes. Example E, let's examine this example a little bit. For example, you have the tonic, you have a dominant, but this dominant, what is the deal with this dominant in first inversion? True dominant? Very important dominant? No. It's the whole purpose of going to the 6th degree, kind of, let's say, is this a question? Is this the septic cadence or the septic resolution? What do you think?
Resolution.
Yes, exactly. It's not a cadence. It's a resolution. It's in the middle. Yes, it's not preparatory. It's not ending anything. Yeah, clearly, because you clearly see in contraposition that what it comes after. This is a big cadence. It cannot be a cadence. It cannot have cadence. Yeah, very good. Exactly. So how this is treated? You have G, G, C, and E. So G, bass, doubling, C, and E. Now, A, C, B. C is behaving as, what's happening with this alto? What is she doing there? Yes, Giorgio.
It has double appoggiatura. We have double appoggiatura.
The double appoggiatura, yes. No, yes.
Triple appoggiatura. No.
Whoa.
Do you count the G as an appoggiatura? Maybe not. Maybe it's just, anyway, maybe it's real, but then it's passing. Anyway, it counts as something as well.
So yes. You have a bit, so you see that now we don't have anything that we said before. From the first example that you had the C, yes, that transforms into a 4, then it resolves, and then the A going straight forward to the G, and then the F, E, kind of a passing note to the D. We don't have, I would say, anything about that. Nothing. Still, a lovely, lovely 6/4 cadence. Yes. In this case, yes, you have kind of a triple appoggiatura. Yes, in which A to go to C. Yes, and when I say C, it's because it's a dissonance interval, resolving like an appoggiatura. C going to the E. The E is not a passing. Yes, it's not an appoggiatura itself, Georgios, because E to the G bass is a 6, so it's not appoggiatura. Appoggiatura is always dissonant, always. If there's a non-harmonic note, yes, so it doesn't belong to the chord, or produces a dissonance, like in this case. And then you have the E going to the G and the F. So not even that. Weirdly enough, yes, you have the A going to the G, going to the F, going to the E. So the interesting thing is that you could have the same effect like you had here. Actually, you have the same effect. Literally the same effect. There. Between the alto and the tenor. So take this please, into consideration. Yes? Because this in harmony is very, very, very useful. Yes? You listen to those notes going, yes, like in this case, like the F, E, D, yes, but distributed in voices, not the same voice, but distributing voices. Visually, yes, when you analyze this as well, for analysts out there, yes, or performers like Laura, visually, you wouldn't see it so clearly, so doesn't jump to your face, let's say. A, G, F, E. Yes, this one, yes, is very clear. So please careful when you're analyzing something, yes, between the visual, yes, clarity and the music, yes. So that is what it is you have to know, okay, about the 6/4 chord. Yes, also you can even use, yes, the second degree into the root position. That's more than fine as well, yes. And now freer treatment, last thing, this is going to be very short. Freer treatment to the 5th, 7th degree in major and minor. As the simplest way of handling dissonance we learned in connection with the 7th degree major, preparation and resolution. Now with the 7th chords, we have seen how the dissonance can appear without preparation whenever it comes about in passing, and how the resolution also can ensue in a different way. That is, other than through the root progression, a fourth upward, the famous 7/3. Okay? What we learn with the 7th chord can be applied to the diminished triad, and thereby those forms become available that appear more frequently in practice than the ones we first dealt with. So basically, take a look about the thing. Look, A, C, and F. Okay? Take a look.
One more time?
Yes, just take a look. Examples 100A, C, and F. Yeah, just the, because this starts, now we're going to start looking that harmony comes from counterpoint, and that's why we have to study counterpoint and harmony. Yeah, there's no other way, because they're related, yeah, hand by hand. So this comes from counterpoint. Yes, in the first you have two voices in similar motion, but sorry, in parallel motion. Yes, E and G, yeah. D and F, yes, these parallel thirds, yes. Example C, what do you have? Contrary motion, outward. Example F, what do you have? Contrary motion as well, inward. Yeah. Now, why this is important with the 7th? Because when you have these type of voices, you will use the 7th degree. For example, let's go to example E, in a much freer manner. Why? Because, for example, you will have this F and this F, which before was forbidden. Yes, the diminished, the interval that causes the dissonance, yes, has to resolve down, and that's it. There's no other way. But counterpoint, voice leading, let's say, melodically, when you start to have melodic resonance between the voices, you can. That's the beauty of it. Yes? So this F that was supposed to go to the E resolving down, now it's not. It's not going there. Yes? For example. What's the case here? Let me see example B. What do you see? The same case. Yes, so just with chords. And then you have the 7th, yes. And what, I mean, doesn't strike much your attention. In this case you have, let's say, the voices, I mean the F resolves, the B resolves up, you have the chord in first inversion, and it's double the third. That's all fine. The only thing is that it doesn't go to the third, it goes to the tonic. Why? Because now the seventh will be seen as, from now on, with the function, yes, as the dominant with the omitted root. Why is that? Because if you have, let's say, F, D, B, G, G, B, D, F, this is the, what, dominant seventh, right? So far so good? Yeah. And then we do this, boop, we omit. What do you have? PDF, the seventh. So it's seen, yes, the function now, yes, is a dominant seventh with the root omitted. So that's why it can go perfectly well to the first degree. Yeah. And then the same thing, yes, E, F, G, E, D, C. So you have the same example of this one in contra emotion, the F going to the G. But careful, please, you have the same case. The E, yes, this dissonance is actually going. Yes, the same thing here. When the now that you know the rules, let's say, yes, try to be sensitive, okay, with the rules. Try to apply your own judgment, okay? That's what. Well, same thing here, yes, you have this contra emotion, yes. Well, G, F, E, E, F, G, D, F, first of all, is doubled, and second, yes, it doesn't resolve. I mean, one resolves down, one resolves up, so there you go. So that is the freer, yes, the free usage. Now, it says that leads us to the notion of trying the seventh, the substitute of the fifth, yes, substitute, in other common progressions from, let's say, 5, 7, 6, deceptive, 7, 4, deceptive, and 7, 2, what? Yes, tell me. What? What happened?
I see what he means at the deceptive, but not common progressions, I wouldn't say that 5, 4 or 5, 2 are common.
No, the common progressions are 5, 6, 5, 4.
That's
the common progression.
5, 6, yeah, it's common. But 5, 4 or 5, 2 is not very common. I can see what he means. The deceptive can be replaced.
Yeah.
But common. Anyway, maybe he knows better. He
knows better.
True. He probably knows.
For him, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we want to ask him, we need a Ouija board. So, for him, in his mind, yes. So that's why you have a couple of examples. Yes, so 6, 7, and 6, 1 and 6, 2, 7 in 6, 6, 2, 7, 6, 5, 6, 4. This is very interesting. And then 4, 6, 4. Sorry, yes, 4, 6, 4. This is the diminished triad in minor. Those 2, 6, and 7 naturally permit the same treatment. So, as long also the pivot notes, the pivot notes will be strictly observed. That's for sure. Okay, strictly. That is unnegotiable. Yeah, because that's the nature of the scale. Yeah, but you see a lot of very freer connections of Let's say you have in minor mode, you have 1, you have the 7th, going to the 1 and 6, yes, going to the 4th. As long as you see that the pivot notes behaves the way they should behave, yes, the connections are much freer. Even the 7th to the 6 in 6, which is, brings a lot of new sonorities, let's say, yes. And you have, or the second example, that is interesting. Third one, very, and we are not very used to listen to these progressions, to be honest. The fourth one, and then that's again, yes, you have this dissonance that is taken by lib, like an appoggiatura, let's say, yes, against the bass, but it's very clever because it's taking kind of an appoggiatura, yeah. In the next example, you have something similar, yes, then you have, so it's getting interesting. That one, yeah. Now, this in harmony, this particularly, yes, all this, the second degree, the sixth degree, yes, diminished, in minor offers a great deal, yes, of sonorities that in general we are not very used, yes, especially when you have, for example, when you go to the third, yes, when you have this, and then that's amazing, yes. So you have the sixth diminished, going to the third augmented, pivotal note, and then to the sixth. And the pivotal notes behave perfectly well. But the sonority, the overall sonority, so the voices are behaving, perfectly well. But the overall sonority is very interesting. Yeah, the same thing, kind of like this. Yeah, with two diminished in a row, yes, but because it works voice leading wise, yeah, it just really works. Yeah, especially the last one is very surprising. For a cadence, yes, is almost is heard as almost. I don't know, maybe you disagree with me, and then it will be perfectly fine. As a deceptive cadence. It behaves like a deceptive cadence. And it's not. Yeah? Well, it's not in a way, because remember that he says that the third degree can be a substitute of the fifth in this chapter. So you have a homework, actually. You have a homework. Hello again. I want you to play. You have the book, yes? You have to play these examples. There's no other way. Yes, as I did just now, because when it's not in the paper, yes, when you see in the paper, it's like, When you start listening to them, you say, this is interesting. It's like, okay, I can use this. Yes, and generally they're really, really not common. That's why I really like this book, because it goes, yes, you have the, the common rules, but then we will start looking that is much freer progression.